All right, guys. So today we're gonna do a Q&A. I've getting a ton of questions now, so I got enough stuff to actually do a proper Q&A. I apologize if I don't get to your question today. I'm gonna do probably try to do one of these a week or something like that. But I'm gonna dig into the questions we have. Before I do that, please take the time to subscribe to my channel. The YouTube gods, the algorithm, for the algorithm, they like it when you subscribe to my channel. Also, if you like this video, I really would appreciate it if you just take the time to hit that like button. That helps me out. If you want to follow me on personally or get in contact with me, you can do so on Instagram. My handle on Instagram is Paul K. Barnett. Anyway, so let's dig into this. So first question I got here. This was from a video I did earlier. The guy says, "I realize DHB is off the wall to you now. However, 5 years from now, when all the pros are running it, will you change your mind?" Search Greg Doucette's video on his experience with the compound. He's a pro. 1,000 milligrams of test with an unhealthy AI or 500 milligrams of test with 500 DHB seems pretty smart to me. Thank you for the question, first off. I did go watch Greg's video, so I did do my homework before we did this. I don't know if I want to stir the pot with Greg Doucette, but he says some pretty outrageous, borderline moronic stuff sometimes. He seems like a smart guy, so I think sometimes he's just doing shit to get views. You know, I get it. You probably run out of ideas for videos, and he's a very good guy at stirring the pot and getting people to subscribe to his stuff. But I take what he says with a grain of salt. I've heard him say some pretty moronic shit. As far as DHB goes, it's a 5-AR version of EQ, which EQ reduces to dihydroboldenone, okay, through the 5-alpha reductase enzyme. So, you know, Greg talked about it in his video. It has a 100/200 anabolic to androgenic to anabolic ratio or rating. So it's twice as anabolic as test. We all know that stuff that's on rats. It's not on humans. They test this shit. So we all know that in practicality, that's not the truth. I believe that you know, there's a bunch of other compounds. Proviron comes to mind that has a high anabolic rating, and we all know that Proviron doesn't build any fucking muscle. This DHB is also liver toxic. And other studies, and I can put a link to it in the video, but I found a study on PubMed that shows that it's another study that showed on rats where they did tests that it wasn't as effective as testosterone for anabolism. There have been no human trials on this stuff. You know, and essentially the dihydroboldenone is the same as it's the same as Primobolan at the end of the day. So my 2 cents on it, I've seen a bunch of shit come and go over the years. You know, this is, I mean, I can't, if I had a nickel for every time, you know, it was SARMs there for a while. SARMs were going to take over. No, they didn't. Nothing has really changed since the 90s. I mean, look at guys now. Is there really anybody any bigger than Dorian Yates was or Nasser was? I mean, maybe Big Rami's a little bit bigger, but I promise you, it's not because of dihydroboldenone. You know, essentially the guys are taking the same shit they always have, and that's test, GH, insulin, and some you know, injectable anabolic, maybe some orals. If you wanted to take a DHT derivative that was liver toxic and was going to be anabolic, why not just fucking take Anadrol? I mean, seriously. I don't know. I mean, to me, I would just take test, take EQ, since this EQ reduces to 5 through 5-AR to DHB without the liver toxicity, and EQ has clinical studies on it. And then take some Primobolan. It's going to be much safer. You're not going to have issues with your liver, and it does the same thing. I don't know. I mean, pros do some stupid shit too. So I don't think DHB is going to be the thing that sets everybody over the top. I just don't. You know, if you want to take it, rock on, go for it. But for off-season stuff, I just think it's a dumb idea to use anything that's liver toxic. That's just my 2 cents. If your liver's stressed out, you lose your appetite. You don't want to eat. If you don't want to eat, you can't get fucking big. You know, in contest prep, you kind of throw the kitchen sink at it and you do use some orals. But if you suppress your appetite, stress your liver out a little bit before contest, and, don't feel like eating because you feel sick, whatever. Anyway, next question. What HGH protocol do you use in the off season? Pretty simple. I use 6 units of GH, 3 units in the AM, 3 units in the PM. I've pushed it as high as 10 before. At 8, I start having serious issues with insulin sensitivity and glucose control. My fasted blood sugar gets really high when I go up to 8. After a while, I can get away with it for a few weeks, but 6 seems to be the sweet spot for me. I get up to 8, I start having trouble with glucose, my glucose levels, and also with, my hands. I get fucking carpal tunnel so bad I can't sleep at night because my hands are tingly. Anyway, next question. What do you think about Novolin R insulin? I mean, it's fine. I prefer something faster acting like Humalog. I think it's easier to control. Novolin peaks later, and a lot of times it sneaks up on people, and they don't, they feel fine, and then they get to the gym, and then they go fucking hypo. Humalog's quick. It's in your system in 15 minutes. I'll take the Humalog like 15 minutes before my meal, so it's hitting about the time I take my meal, and it's out pretty quick. So, if I do fuck up, which I've only gone hypo a couple times, over the last 4 or 5 years. I just think it's easier to control. And if you, if you want, you can combine it with a basal insulin like Lantus. But I prefer Humalog. That's my 2 cents. Let's see. Next one. What's your libido like on your current stack? So I'm taking Equipoise, 600 milligrams a week, 750 milligrams of test right now, and 150 milligrams of NPP. That I know it's a small amount. I'm just doing it for my shoulder. My shoulder's been bothering me. So, and then GH. So yes, what's your libido like on your current stack? Anything you would add or subtract to reach porn star level? I'm talking about 1+ hour sessions. I've seen people use PDE5 meds. That would be Viagra or Cialis. Dopamine promoting meds, GABA type stuff, beta agonist, cannabis, along with similar stuff in their stack. Yeah, that all sounds stupid to me. I'm sorry. No, my libido's fine, and most of the time, there's no woman that wants you to pound on her for an hour straight. They're lying if they do. Been around the block, my man. It's just not the case. That's something that dudes come up with. I mean, even if you watch porno, the longest porno you're going to watch is over in 15, 20 minutes. Those girls are professionals. So they don't want your big sweaty ass on top of them for an hour. Trust me. So you're just wasting the effort. I have no problems right now. Sometimes when I use nandrolones, it can cause ED issues. I've had issues with Tren causing that in the past. I don't like taking anything that messes with dopamine. I just think you're risking, taking unnecessary risk, especially if you have issues with anxiety and depression. Sometimes nandrolones can make me a little anxious. I don't know. I would rather just stop the offending drug than take other drugs to counteract it. Occasionally, I'll pop a Viagra. I don't like Cialis that much. It gives me headaches and it just stays in your system, makes my nose stuffed up. Viagra, if I wanted to, occasionally I'll take that. Okay. Next question. What would be a great second cycle? This is a good question. Everyone always knows that test alone at 500 milligrams a week is the standard first cycle. I would argue that it's not always the standard first cycle. But if you took enough time off and hit your natural potential, what would be a great second stack to really turn shit up? I don't know. For a first cycle, I probably would just do 300 milligrams of test, see how it goes. You could get like halfway, maybe do like a 12 or a 16-week cycle. Do 300, see how it goes, and then you can push it up a little bit as you get further into it. Sometimes 300 is going to, my first go around, I think I took 200 milligrams of Deca, and I blew up, every week. So it doesn't take much on your first cycle. So, why take more than is necessary? Plus, you just want to feel out what you get out of it. For a second cycle, I would say test and an anabolic would be a good choice. Probably test in equipoise. I like equipoise a lot. Test or in nandrolone. Nandrolone's my favorite for size. Test in primobolan if you can find real primobolan. If you're a pussy and don't want to take shots, you could do test and Anavar. That would be a good second cycle. That would be my suggestion. Maybe something like 500 milligrams of test and 300 milligrams of NPP or something like that. That's going to be plenty. All right, next question. I'm running 200 milligrams of test cypionate and 200 milligrams of test propionate. Okay. With 300 milligrams of Deca Mondays and Thursdays. My second cycle is this. I already had gyno surgery 6 months ago, but now I'm taking a 0.5 milligram of Remedex every day. I'm thinking about adding some equipoise. Can you please give me some advice? All right, my first thing, why are you taking two different test esters? What are you trying to accomplish? I mean, that's doing absolutely nothing. Just pick one and go with the other. I don't know. I like an Anth8. Instead of doing 200 of each, just do 400 of one. I mean, you're making things unnecessarily complicated. Test is test, despite the ester. 400 with 300 milligrams of Deca total, that's fine. If you've already had gyno surgery, I would try to forego the 0.5 milligram of Remedex unless you're contest prepping or trying to get lean. But if you're trying to put on size, I would see if you can forego the Remedex. I had gyno surgery and still had flare-ups after I had gyno surgery, so sometimes I do have to use AIs. I'm not right now, but that would be my 2 cents on that one. Okay, next one. Is it safer to take primobolan at higher doses instead of Tren? I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I would say yes. Tren's pretty fucking harsh. I think a lot of the kidney issues you see with bodybuilders is from running Tren year round. I know it's a disease in the men's physique competitors that they have to look ripped year round, have that hard look, and these dudes are taking fucking Tren year round from what I've heard. I think that's just asking to get a kidney transplant when you're in your 40s, but that's my 2 cents. Yeah, so yes, I think primobolan at a higher dose is safer than Tren. Next question here. I just finished my cut. I got my blood work results yesterday. My HDL was down to 19. I've seen worse, but that's pretty bad. What supplements and dietary changes would you suggest to bring it back up to at least 40? Thank you in advance. First things first, if you're taking any orals, get rid of them. Orals crush your lipids. Completely get rid of those orals. Aromatase inhibitors, they also crush your, if your estrogen's pounded down to 0, you're not gonna have any it's not gonna be good for your lipids. Estrogen helps modulate lipids. And take fish oil pill. Fish oil will help bring up that HDL. I would do that as well. Take niacin before bed and get on a low dose statin. That's my 2 cents. All right, next, I am considering doing an androlone only cycle. Why? Simply because I don't want to blow up like a balloon of water adding test to the cycle, if that makes any sense. You're the only one of the few people that I've talked to on the internet that's talked about DECA only cycles. The rest is all you need. Why I read all the time why you should never run DECA by itself, blah, 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 blah. Why is that? Well, I run nandrolone by itself. I like NPP so you can get in and out fast versus DECA. That's the first thing. So I would go with NPP instead of DECA, but that's my 2 cents. You can use DECA, it's fine. The only compelling reason sometimes nandrolone only, the one thing I can say, I barely had any side effects. I didn't have to use an AI. It kept me nice and lean. I got good gains off of it. The only thing I can say is I had no fucking sex drive. So if you don't mind not fucking, then go for it. I've done it, before, and my blood work, everything was great. I mean, it was great, but that would be the only negative that I can tell you that I've experienced. All right, let's do one more question and then we'll call it quits. I've never seen less than 1,250 milligrams per week of tests prescribed by an elite bodybuilding coach to their athletes. However, the same coaches on YouTube and other forums preach no more than 500 milligrams of tests a week to their audience. Isn't that hypocrisy? I'm just interested in your take on this. Yeah, I think dudes lie about what they're having their guys take, and I think it's more just they're worried about some young idiot going out and killing themselves by taking too much shit. You got to think, too, like the pro that's taking 1,250 or a gram of test or whatever the fuck they're taking, they've worked up to that dose over years. It's not something you want to go take right out of the gate. So I think a lot of these guys are just saying more conservative doses because they don't want some moron, a 16-year-old moron that saw a video to go out and start blasting, 2 grams of gear right out of the gate. That's just a bad idea. So I would say start off lower, work your way up. And yes, it is hypocritical that they do this. I should just tell you the truth, that's something you should work up to over time. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. We'll do more Q&A coming up. Peace out.